Hello, MJ Clemenco here, psychotherapist and life coach. Tonight I'd like to talk about couples that come into my office and feel so alienated from each other they can't get further apart on the couch. And as we begin to explore what's going on, um, and I ask each of them how they feel, each one will say in the first session or in a session that's fairly close to the first session, that their partner doesn't care about them, or their partner's no longer in love with them, or their partner no longer desires them. And they will each say that. So what I point out to them is neither one of them have to be in my office. That they came into my office and they're sitting there, both of them, even if they're mad as hell, it indicates to me that they do care. Because if a person doesn't care, they don't get angry. A person that doesn't care doesn't do anything. They just walk away. They certainly don't go to couples therapy. So this is the dilemma. When couples are together for a while, usually the couple has been together for a while. I mean, if that kind of alienation begins after you've been together 3 months, you probably don't want to go any further. And so little arguments come up. They always do if you're in a relationship. If you learn how to navigate successfully, have fair fights and mirror for each other, probably the little disagreements remain little disagreements. But very often that's not the case. And so couples will either begin fighting with each other, or one will fight and the other one will withdraw. That's actually very typical. Um, or they both withdraw. That happens too. But somehow they wind up in my office seeking couples counseling. And what I point out to them is they have to care. I think I've already said that, but they have to care or they wouldn't be there. They don't believe that. Neither one of the couple believes that the other one cares. And it doesn't matter what I say, they will hold fast to their belief that their partner doesn't care about them. It's really the dog chasing its tail, or the chicken and the egg, however you want to say it. One person will say something, and the other person will get their feelings hurt. So that person says something or withdraws or does something, and then the person that initially said something gets their feelings hurt. So then the person that got their feelings hurt the second time will say something or withdraw or do something, and it's like ping pong. It's back and forth, back and forth. And depending what your style of being angry is, I mean, if you withdraw, you just go silent, but you don't go away. And you wouldn't be in couples counseling. So if you and your partner are in any of those kinds of uh, disagreeing relationships, it's very important for you to remember that nobody really has to be with anybody. Yeah, I know you have kids and I know you can't afford to move. That doesn't matter. If somebody really doesn't care, they don't stay. They figure it out. Having hurt feelings is not the same thing as not caring. When people get their feelings hurt, they act angry sometimes, or they withdraw sometimes, but they do that because they do care, because their feelings are hurt. When a person is angry, that person is hurting. Some people, like I said, display their anger by getting quiet and going in the other room. That doesn't mean they're not angry. They are. Some people will deny they're angry, which further compounds the problem. But usually at that point, couples are not communicating well, and all kinds of things begin to pile on to add insult to injury. it's very important that both of you recognize, hey, wait a minute, we're both hurt. We both care about each other. How are we going to get through this? Now, I know sometimes one or both of you are so angry, you think, I don't want to get through it. I don't care. I hear that all the time. I don't care. But when I say, oh, you mean you don't care about your partner? They say, no, and that's not what I mean. I just mean I don't care. Oh, okay, so you don't care about your partner. No, that I don't, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he or she did this, that, or the other, and I don't care. Very helpful. You can see how constructive that would be. So then how do you get out of it? How do you stop the dog from chasing its tail? How do you stop? One of you has to have courage. Because there's no such thing as an angry person who's not a hurting person. Anger is a masking emotion. It's always covering up hurt or fear or both. You'll never see an angry person who's not one or both of those. So you're both hurt. You both look angry. You both swear that the other one doesn't care about love, about romance, about being invested in a relationship, however you frame it. Which one of you is going to have the courage to cross that line? Which one of you is going to have the courage to say, you know, I really do love you, and I really do want to figure this out? Now, there's a caveat to this, because the person that finds the courage to cross over that line and reach out is probably going to get their hand slapped, because that the other person is not expecting it. They're still angry and they still want revenge. So if you cross that line and try to make up or figure out a problem, be prepared for being rebuffed once, twice, maybe 3 times. If it goes beyond 3 times, you need to come to counseling by yourself and talk about it. But initially, the other person isn't prepared. And systems hate to change. So they're prepared to keep the system going the same way it's been going for however long it's been dysfunctional. So when you're rebuffed, just say, that hurts my feelings. I'll talk to you when you're ready. And you go in the other room, you go outside, you do not argue. You do not blame or shame or yell or any number of things that I hear people say to each other. And sometimes they're really below the belt. There's sarcasm that is supposedly a truth, but it's really very hurtful sarcasm. So if you have courage and you really don't want to continue arguing, fighting, having a kind of distant relationship that you frequently have or always have with your partner, cross that line. Say, I care about you. I want to figure this out. If we can't just decide how to figure it out on our own, I'd like to go to counseling with you. When the other person acts up because the other person is still representing the system, the dysfunctional system, you name it, you say, that hurts my feelings, and then you disengage. And you do not re-engage until the next time, an hour, 2 hours, the next morning, you again reach out and say, I really want to work this out. I really care about you. I understand that we're both hurt. It's easy for me to say, I've been doing this work for years. I know it's extremely hard to do. When you feel like somebody's been mean to you, or doesn't love you, or doesn't care about you, it's really hard to be nice. The last thing you want to be is nice. But you're there because you do care. You're in my office, you're in your home, you're wherever you are, you're there together because you do care. Think about somebody you don't care about. They can't affect you. If you don't care about somebody, you're not going to argue with them. You're just going to say, whatever. People who don't care don't have any emotions about the other person. So if you're the one who's looking at the situation and you're able to realize, wait a minute, we have to care. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be doing this. We don't need to do this. We're doing this because we're fighting for something. The problem is we're fighting the wrong way. We're making it worse. And we aren't able to get out of this cycle unless one of us deliberately breaks it. And I hope if you try this and you recognize the system is going to act out 1, 2, or 3 times, that your partner will listen to you, that you will find some way to sit down together, whether it's with a therapist or somebody else who's skilled and trained to mediate disagreements. I wouldn't recommend asking a relative or a neighbor because they're not usually skilled at mediating disagreements between people who are feeling really hurt and angry. So if you enlist someone like that, it's likely to escalate. Hopefully, you'll go to my website and you'll download the instructions for having a fair fight. You will look at the below the belt behavior that's on the second half of the fair fight rules, and you'll practice. And it isn't easy, it's complicated, but you'll do it. Good night.